Hi guys! So today we have a free speed paint, and as you can see in the title, this is actually a collaboration between my friend and I, but I'll get into more detail about that later. Basically, we just had a theme, and then we both wanted to do something free related. So I did a Future Fish AU fan art, and if you're not familiar with the Future Fish it's the ending theme to the second season of Free. So basically, it has all of these free characters, like what their careers would be in the future, but it's on crack. Like, it's really ridiculous and over the top, and it's really amusing, and the song is really catchy. So if you haven't watched that yet, like if you haven't watched season 2, you should probably check it out first and then go back to this video because it's amazing. So yeah. So with the hair, Makoto's hair, I really had a difficult time trying to match his hair color at first. Like, when I was looking at the reference, and then his hair is it's a really unique color. It's like yellowish, greenish, brown. And I just happened to have a copy color that almost perfectly matched the hair color, luckily. It's YG95. It's a really desaturated yellow green. So it's kind of dark, and then it's not really that vibrant, and it's the perfect color for Makoto's hair. Like, if you're having problems with what color to use to color his hair, like, go check it out. It's the best. And then I just shaded his hair in with some brown because I find that adds more contrast and depth rather than just adding a darker green. And then for the shirt, it was the most difficult part to color, not really because there was a lot of shading, there wasn't actually, but because you have to color in a really large area at once, and it's really difficult to avoid blotches and streaks. Even if you're using Copic markers and then they blend really well on their alcohol base, I don't know, like, it's naturally human to have errors. But I find that the best ways to avoid these blotches is either when you can color in really slowly and then let the ink soak in the paper longer, because I find it tends to keep the wet edge longer and prevent streaks. Or you could do a first coat and then you could go back over and try to make a smoother second layer. That's what I did in this video. So I do a bit of shading and I try to smoothen things out. Now, it doesn't really eliminate the streaking completely, but I find that it still helps. Like, compared to just the first layer, which is really streaky, this one just looks like it has a little bit of texture. And then I shade with a really dark, less saturated blue violet, because I find that tends to help give more depth rather than just using like a darker but still bright blue violet. So having that grayish desaturated color really helps. So just add the shading in like the important areas, like the folds, and then some of the lining tends to help. And then just blend out the shading with a lighter gray violet. There wasn't really much to shade in the photo. He wasn't moving a lot, so he was at rest, so the shirt really didn't have a lot of folds. And then I'm just doing in the details in his kind of like strap. You know, it's a fireman thing. Not really sure what it is. Yeah, I didn't really go into too much detail. There wasn't really a lot to detail. You're just adding more contrast to the metallic parts to make it have its shine. Yeah, and then the fabric parts didn't need as much contrast and detail. It's fabric. And then for the skin, as you can see with the arm and with the face I colored earlier, I actually started with the shadows, not the darkest shadows, but kind of like a lighter shadow layer, and then I blended out with a lighter color, and then I go with a darker skin color, and then I add the really desaturated browns, especially at the back of especially the forearm, because his arm is bent, and then the lower part of his arm is more forward, and then the upper part is a bit more back. So to give that sense of depth, I just colored it with a grayer brown. Yeah, it gives more depth rather than just making it look more orange. And then the lower part is actually his jacket, because his fireman jacket is tied around his waist, but it got cut off at the edge of the paper, so yeah. And then I'm coloring in his Haru charm because I'd like to think that in the future, Makoto and Haru are together and they have matching cell phone charms of each other. Like, this is really cute. Relationship goals. I didn't really shade the charm too much. I wanted to, but there wasn't really a lot of space, and then the ink would bleed out. That's normal for ink, so yeah, there wasn't really a lot to do. And then for his phone, I just kept it simple and clean. Just shading with a cool gray parts and then taking care where to put the darker areas. And then for Haru's chibi, I also didn't shade it like as realistic-ish or as detailed as Makoto's because it's a chibi. It's supposed to look cute and cartoony. I'm using the same colors as I did in the phone charm earlier, so it was really handy to do the phone charm first. So I could figure out the color palette. I kept the shading really simple. I limited myself to like about 2 colors per part. Sometimes I go 3, like with the grays. And then for the background, I'm using my T-square and a light yellow-green Copic. And I'm just making some diagonal lines. Because I find that sometimes without the background, an image can kind of look weird. Like some parts stick out a lot because they're really bright, or some parts have a lot of contrast and some don't. And I find that adding a large bright background tends to balance everything out better. So yeah, so backgrounds are important, never ignore them. Yeah, I'm using the chisel edge of the marker for this because it's easier to get straight lines rather than using a brush tip. I wouldn't want to torture myself. So yeah, I just kept the background simple to keep the focus on Makoto. And then I'm going in with the thick multiliner, and then I'm just refining the edges of Makoto and the dialogue bubble earlier just to make the subject pop out from the background so that there's a distinction. It gives it a bit of a cartoony look, but I surprisingly like it. And then I'm just going back and refining the shading. Yeah, I wanted to keep the drawing look simple and vibrant and just happy. And then for the dialogue bubble, I went back and added a bunch of polka dots just to fill in a lot of the blank space. I used the same blue I used the same blue from Haru's kind of neckerchief, just to keep the colors cohesive so that there's a harmony between everything. So for this collaboration with my friend MJ, I did free fan art and she did a Haru phone charm inspired by the one in this fan art. So I'll show it down to the right, you can see it. And if you click it, you'll go to her Facebook page and you'll be able to see her other polymer clay creations. And if you're based in the Philippines, you can order from her, so go check it out. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any suggestions on what I should draw next, just comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching!